Succulents and cacti, they have some really cool aesthetics, but here's the thing. Most new plant parents or people that are into plants, they kind of gravitate towards these because these are the go-to for low maintenance. I want to go through and talk about 4 key points that really may help you, or 4 care points that may help you do a better job at having your cacti and your succulents do very well. Number 1, lighting. That's the key to thriving succulents and cacti, and south-facing windows are probably going to be your best bet, because they like the brightest light throughout the day. Now, they thrive in bright, indirect sunlight, so you can't just leave them there. And that brings me to the second thing. You want to make sure you rotate them. And when you rotate them that regularly, that's going to really help with the growth. Supplemental lighting may take place or may be needed, especially during some of the longer months in the wintertime. And if your place does not have that good south exposure, it might be a real challenge. So supplemental lighting is key. Number 2, this is where a lot of people really break down when it comes to this low maintenance plant, is they over-maintain it when it comes to watering. So common mistakes in succulent and cacti is overwatering. You want to water thoroughly, but infrequently, because you want to allow the soil to dry completely before you hit it again. You want to let it dry out, almost let it dry out entirely before between waterings. That's important. And remember, these are kind of plants that like more arid conditions, right? Seasonal adjustments, there's got to be some reduced watering during the plant's dormant period, and you can find that out on our blog. We're going to have some information about these, but you can also just Google and find out when the dormancy might take place with your succulents and your cacti. Signs of thirst. Look for a slight wrinkling or pucker in the leaves, especially with your succulents. That should be an indicator. It might mean time to water, but I wouldn't let it get to that point. Number 3, soil and containers. This is very important to potentially great, perfect growing environment, and you want to get well-draining soil. And you want to find something usually that's going to allow for the drainage to take place, and usually that's soil that has perlite or pumice in it. So well-draining soil mix. You're not just going to go and buy some of the stuff at the big box and think that's going to be it. You have to have well-draining soil for these. Containers with drainage holes are very important, with a plate underneath. That's in case you do, hopefully not, overwater, it's going to be an escape. And my favorite is terracotta pots. I like terracotta because I think they look really aesthetically appealing, and they're very good for succulents and cacti because they absorb excess moisture and allow the soil to dry faster. So important. Last tip, maintenance and troubleshooting. You got to keep your plants happy. And the way you do that is make sure you watch out for pests, because sometimes we bring these in, believe it or not, there's mealybugs, spider mites, and you can treat them infestations sometimes with some neem oil or some insecticidal soap. Read more about that. That's something you want to be vigilant of, is pests. Pruning and propagation. You have to make sure sometimes you get rid of the dead leaves. You get rid of the really leggy growth to maintain the shape and encourage new growth. And sometimes you can use some of these things you clip. If they're not dead, you can propagate new plants. So your friends come over and, hey, you got a gift for them of a plant they can take home and say, yeah, I remember getting this when I went to visit Joe and Elizabeth. I love this plant. Seasonal care, the last thing. You want to make sure you adjust your care based on the time of year and the cycle where the plant might be in. And if you find that's a real troublesome thing, some people might not really care if they go from season to season, but if you want to do that, you really need to take a look at how you can be looking for changes in how you take care of them seasonally, reducing water, fertilization, etc. So hope those 4 tips helps. Come to our blog that's in the show notes, that we have some information on all these different points and a lot more deeper dive, because our goal is to really educate you on how you become plant parent and do a great job. So until next video, keep digging, keep pruning, keep caring for your plants, and God bless.